Well, I done made the big time. Wow! It's like an Elton John concert. Things are working. When we've discussed in lots of our seminars, different people do the same forms, but it means different things to different people, right? And like George said in our last two seminars, you can see a beginner doing the same move as you see a green belt and a black belt doing, and it means different things to different people, right? So I was asking in one seminar to deal with this movement, okay? Because most people say you put the fingers and you strike center line with it, all you end up with is sore fingers. Well, that's true, okay? So we get that. That's a given, all right? Can I borrow you for just a second? This won't hurt. I've learned to do that, and most people go, I ain't going. Okay? Now,
by the way, if anybody has any injuries that we should know about, we call you up, you tell us. You know, don't get up, let us do something and say, geez, I have a bad kidney. Or a bad liver, because we might just shut it off.
You got two bad kidneys. Okay. When the only person that will really have the true interpretation for this is the guy that put this in his form, right? And we can only extrapolate information from our science and arts as to what we think this particular movement means, okay? And we'll apply that to the way the body works and to our combative skills, okay? And we know that heart 3 lies right here. We know that heart 3 is allergic to the 2 metal meridians on top of the arm. And that's a given, all right? Because I've had you guys stand around, or other people have, and pinch this and say, boy, that really hurts. And you touch this and say, that really hurts too. When you put them together, it hurts 4 times as much. Okay, so we know that this part of the body is allergic to this part. Okay? Now, given that I stand here and touch this and fire this here, that looks like the form. And that's one interpretation for that. Okay, and I've seen others go here and shoot into here for it. And that's a given too. The problem with this point is heart 3 moves when the guy throws a fist and goes to throw it, the point rolls. So unless you're down here shooting up to hit it, you can't get it. All right? The other thing bad about this and putting this hand here is there's a cocked gun standing by. So you end up working here and drilling this. So that's probably a bad plan from that interpretation and that combative part. Okay? But if I take the same movement and go from here, touch the middle point, and slam up into that hard point, I can numb the whole arm from here and blow it off. Now I can deal with the other parts. Okay? Now you see an application of the science to the combative part of the art. All right? Now, let's go through some things that we can deal with this hand. All right? Let's deal with the simple ones first, of the hand trap down. All right? If I choose the yin points that invite the body, as I touch them and pull, the neck opens up. So my targets now appear, whether it be small intestine 16, which he didn't like, okay? Or if I'm standing in the middle and it opens up with something like this, and I trap it and pull it down, stomach 9 opens up. So I come in and down with it, and I have that to deal with. If I use this part of my hand, I can lay it in here on the vagus response and shut him down on a vagal massage. If I choose to use my hand this way and use this thumb to work, I can lay it over and get him. I can lay it in here and get him, and the movement looks the same. If I trap and twist to the side, I can shoot across the esophagus and rip it, and it looks the same. If I change and trip it this way and choose the point on the side of the jaw, I can turn it, set the angle, fire it here for the break, follow it back here with gallbladder 20 to shut him down. Okay? But it still looks the same. If I chose to turn my fingers this way or this way or this way, I still play the same angles. And I shoot this one to the gallbladder here across the eye. Or I can trap it down again and shoot to here on the stomach points under here for the knockout. Or if it comes again, I shoot it down like this, I can take the one on the side of the jaw for the knockout. Or if it comes again, I take the one here for the knockout. Or if it comes and I push it high, I'll take heart 1 here and shut him down. Or I can use this part of the hand for this trap and choose this pectoral to shut him down off the grab. Or I'll take it here and shoot it into the conception vessel and down, because in this particular application, I caught the inside of the arm on pericardium 6, lining up the whole conception vessel so that I can choose 14, 15, or 16 in and down. Okay? Now, if I am fortunate enough to turn him, I'll shoot to the heart points on the back. This one not being as bad as the one over here, but it looks the same. And it also tells me that across here, anything off the top of this arm is going to give me selective points here for lung 1, which will take him in and down. Or I can move over and take the summit points and shut him in and down. Like again, I said, if I got into the pericardium, either high or low, I'll choose anything on the conception vessel to work him in and down. Okay? If I am fortunate enough to reach over and hook him out, I'll go to the other side. But it will look the same. And I'll work here, here, or here. Okay? Now, the hand sitting like this tells me that I'm dealing with this dermatome. So I choose my points. I'm called here to start with to set these up. These are probable targets. Okay? Now, if I take and put him to the floor and take him down flat, this would look the same, telling me I'm here, and I'll choose this one to put him in severe pain. It lies on the same dermatome. Okay? But you can't start into an explanation of this form for your beginners with an explanation like this. And you go through there and say, all right, here's 20 death strikes off of this movement. And the white goat goes, it's the mother loads. It's this movement, you know? And he ain't taking classes no more. He's got 20 different ways to put people away. He's got it in one lesson. All right, so we have to use different things or watering down versions of the same movement, right? So the next part of the movement was this. So the punch comes, I shoot this under here. Now I've trapped, and I've set the trap for this hand to work. Here, here, or here. And I have a prisoner off the same movement. Okay? Let's suppose I shoot it in and lower, and it shoots it down. And I put it right here. Yeah, now you're up and trapped, and you're a prisoner. And you're shorted out from the same as I did putting you on the floor. Okay? And it looks the same. Okay? One of the things that we've developed on our art, this part of the blocking arm works good against kicks. So the gentleman throws a front neck kick, and I take it out. And guess where I'm standing? I'm ready to fire, right? And I chose the gallbladder meridian for my block. So I've set it up, and I'm ready to work the arm again. So as it comes, now I go to work. And the knockouts begin. And I have those targets. One good thing about turning the body, whether it be with the kick or the hand or the arm movement, is when the head turns this direction, it exposes one point that's very hard to get. And it's triple warmer 17, it lies behind the ear. And it's most of the time inaccessible because it's a pinpoint strike. It's a very deadly pinpoint strike, but you can't get to it. Because if you're standing here in the front, and we're in some type of confrontation, and I have to come over, around, and hook and come back in and get it, he's probably going to drill me. I'm probably going to lose, right? But anything that comes and I twist and turn him, now I've got the strike. If I'm accurate and direct, I can put him away with one. The one-finger death stroke. Okay? The other thing about this turn from that punch is I turn and shoot this across. I have this knockout point on the jaw. I have this knockout point on the jaw. I also have the gallbladder points around the ear, so I can shoot it across like this and back. But it will look the same during the application. Okay? How we doing? Pretty good movement, wasn't it? And you guys said, we got a pressure point strike. Okay. Those that come under the arm have the ability to numb the arm here. These hard fire meridians will get set up very quickly from this. Okay? So you get a good snap down and a good snap up. You'll see, whoa, I'm alive. It stuns and makes the whole body lose power. Okay, so you pile that up and hook it back. And you extract that energy down this meridian. Okay? This, pow, and he'll feel the effect. But it pulls him. And that's fine because we're going to follow up anyway. But these will sap the energy from the body. Now, of course, one of the old ones was up here and in here, and they wanted you to fire into this heart point. You guys know that you never want this arm raised because they can get right into heart 1 here, and it'll shut you down completely. And it's a major cause of heart attacks. So we have to watch this, okay? Now, another thing that you deal with in your selection of points, you want to cause the body to react. You want to cause it to do what you want it to do, okay? So, if he steps forward and I choose these points, they'll invite, okay? And you want him to invite sometimes because you want him to come on a pre-described route that you can take advantage of. That's like if I got him by the hand here and I say, well, I really want to punch here, so I need you to move over. Pow, that's where I want you. Okay? That's a lot better than touching here. Oh, that was fun. Right? You have to know where you're going to put him. Your point selection will do that. One of the things about it being like this, I often thought if the hand was open and I had this, I would choose these points to set it. So it would cause the head to jerk to the side so I can shoot in. If I was fortunate enough to get fingers, this becomes a real treat and looks the same. Right? And we all know how to use these kind of tricks. Boom! Right? But this looks the same. So I have a hand down here like this grabs, it comes up. Yes, well, here's where I want it. And it looks like what we have. Okay? How we doing? Still with the program, okay? Good, because I'm making this up as I go along. Don't y'all take notes. All right? Now, in a combative situation, you have to get from point A to point B quickly. Right? And you need movements that will cut down that travel time. Right? You need points that will help things happen quickly. Because, you know, like there's no second place winner and fastest gun's still alive. Okay? There's a reason. You know, second place don't pay well. And it hurts. All right, let's go off of the simple push. And this hand comes. And we deal with just one hand. All right, we all know the movement that comes this way, blows us out, and the strike comes in, right? Okay, you guys have had that. And there's about 4 steps to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, strike. Right? We need, in our art studies, and all of you need to help us, we need to extract information about how the body works and how the points work so we can get A, B, C, D, E, F condensed to ABC or AB. Right? So when you start to look at and analyze any movement form, you look at the individual steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, we have to figure out a way to cheat so that we will maintain superiority. So we know that the push is coming, so I'll shift body. But I took care of steps 1, 2, and 3 right off the bat. Because now I've changed body angle, set the points, set the short right here. He made the point. If he pushes hard on me, he'll short himself. Just that causes the body to turn. Okay? So the pressure and the short has occurred here, just from the body angle that I've set. Well, I want to cheat a little more. I happen to know that this particular point right here is very susceptible to this one. So if I can activate this one at the same time, I'll get his legs to shiver and his body to quake at the same time. So I'll just do that with a simple touch. Okay? I have to get this off, but I can use both hands at the same time. So the hand comes. Thank you. New man. How quick was it? How soon did you die? Okay? I chose the same selection of points and done the same movement. And it all looked like this. Right? But let's go back and watch. This touch occurred. This hand was this movement out of the form. And we got it. And the first things I described to you was, I needed this point or this point. So when I hit this, if I get a half turn and he stays up, I only get a little quiver, fine, I'll take 9. I'll kill him with stomach 9, that's fine. Oh, but I hit him too hard, now I have to use 16. Tough break. Well, I hit him too hard, now I'll have to use 20. I can live with that. Okay? But it's the shotgun effect of how it works, right? Okay? But nothing means that this hand movement has to be like this, and this has to be the working hand. Maybe that's telling me that when this hand comes forward, this one will do something, and the hand comes, now I go here. And maybe it was this hand that was coming back that dealt with this one coming in. And that was a simple knockout of an Issei Shi that I went here and shut him down, right? Because it could be the mirror image. Okay? So you understand what we go through on qoute breakdown and how movements work. Okay? Now, the other thing about this is the energetics involved. When the hands come up and the energy transfers, there's a little quiver, or there's a little jing in the hands. And without that fire, and without that spice, none of the knockouts work. And you've got to work hard on developing that energetics. Because without it, all you end up with is a simple stomp, and you go, okay, big deal. Okay? But there was nothing to it. You've got to be able to transfer that energy through. Now, one of the things that I use is I put myself in a situation or a position that you cannot rely upon your body anatomy, mass, and speed. Okay? Because if I stay here and I stand him up and say, okay, I'm going to push you on the chest, and I go back here and go, dun, 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 boom! Okay? I use body mass, speed, and power to transfer that energy through. And any football player knows how to do that. Any pro player can do that. But if I took the body and stood it here, and I stood beside it, and stuck one hand out here, then I couldn't use any of that. Right? It's all gone. All I have is one arm. And no one arm movement is going to do anything. So I'll put it here, and the energy transfer will come from here and up and through. And boom! And going across the floor. And it feels a little different than stop. And he will be the only one that knows that. The same thing that occurs is when a hand drops on you. If I go and say, this is the knockout, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any power. It doesn't do anything to him internally. But if I take the same hand, put the energy to it, it comes up, and down it goes, it feels different. And you can hear the impact. He can tell you what the difference is and how it registers. Okay? So when these hand movements come and they come in, that extra power is there. Okay? And that energy and transfer is what makes this thing work. And you guys have got to have that. So you'll need to work on it. Okay? Even the simple movements from here, from the grapple, when you come up to this looks like that part of that form also. It looks like the same movement. But when I come in and we grapple, it's like, okay, now we're tough. We're going to sit here and we're going to deal with each other. But if that power and energy comes up and through, boom, he's down and trapped. The crossover comes and it's in. It's two of them now instead of one. Okay? What do you think? It'll work? Yes, sir.
Question for you. I understand that you do braking techniques. Is that how you develop this focus?
Yes. Those are some of the techniques that I use. One of the other ones I use is off the qoute form for this. And I'll have a guy stand and put his hands like this, resist my push. So put your leg here and make it so you're real strong, so that I can't push through this. Okay? Now, your qoute form has movements like this in it, right? And there's no way that one hand is going to push through this mass of body, right? Because it doesn't equal. 2 plus 2 would equal 4. And 4 won't move this. But you're ready. And now the energy comes through and abuse the came. But I cheated and used the energy to do it. And make it hard and tough. Yes, that's good. You're not too strong. But it's the same energy transfer. Now, if you say, oh, that's just deltoid muscle and it can't work. Well, let's suppose I have to push up against him. Get up here a little higher. Okay. Good. And now, that would be energy also, but how about this one? It looks the same in the form, right? You ready? And it looks the same. Hey, hi, my friend. But one arm doesn't equal a whole body. 2 plus 2 now doesn't equal 4. 2 plus 2 equals 20. I cheated. Yes?
Give him a round of applause. One of our research people. It's one of the people that started out with me when we get into pressure points. In fact, Tom Muncie and him were the first people that saw it. Sandy, Ron, and we got them together. I used to teach them how to block and punch. Now they don't believe me anymore. What moves in kata do you want to work on? We have a lot of people here with high ranks. You've been to a lot of seminars. What is it you're having a problem with working that we can help you? You got the A team right here. If you're doing something, trying to knock somebody out and it's not working, why? I don't know why, or it wouldn't work. Right? Yes? No? How many here want to knock out the other half of the room? Half of the room want to knock out the other half? You want to play with that? You can do it lightly. The problem is if you all go too much to sleep, the game's over. Once you take your hands, and the easiest way to do knockouts early on is with the open hands. Open hands, not the fists. Because the most energy releases through the palms. You try to get, and you listen when I do it, but you try to get the suction to happen when you come away. The technique is on the away, not on the go in. Got it? Now listen. You hear my withdrawal? Listen. You'll hear it. That's a good one. If I have that truly happen on the person's head when we strike the gallbladder points, that's when they go out deep. A lot of times you will miss that suction because of hairline and shape of head. You got to read body anatomy. You got to look at people and realize this man has a gallbladder point here, here, and over here. So you cannot hit him head on. He actually needs to be hit from that angle. Understand that? Let me stand up. He actually needs to be from there. From there. All right? Yes. This guy has going back that way. I got to catch him this way, where I am here, 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 and here. So stand up. You're too. Normally, I wouldn't do that technique with somebody that size. I want somebody for that technique my size or a little bit higher. I don't even want them lower. I want them in that range. I don't want to reach up for that technique. Why would I pass under the jaw, the neck, the cheek to get up that high? I'm just making a point clear on this because some of you have tried that. If you look at my videotape 8, I was demonstrating that, and I walk over the other side of the room, and I tapped some guy, and he went around like a fish flop. If you replay that tape, you'll actually hear a suction come off his head, boy, like a plunger out of a toilet bowl. Because if you play the tape and slow it down there, you'll hear a off his head. I locked on his head. I don't know if it's just my hand was dry or ripe, but I locked on his head. And when I pulled it off, it was like I stuck to skin, and boy, he just flip-flopped around. So, like here, you have hairline. Stand up. Here you have hairline, but you have the points right up front for you. You have one here, one here, one here. So we catch him with that. Now, to set those points up, you got to use the ribs on the opposite side. Gallbladder warning point. This is without doing that. You got to set up the ribs on the opposite side. You got to tread on the foot on the same side. You only go off that meridian when you are using a warning point or something that activates that meridian. Other than that, you work on the same meridian. Kata moves that tread on the feet. Nahanchi, the feet tread this way. You're treading on the point on the bottom of the foot. Activate that head. And actually, when you get into that meridian, as you cross, here you stand up quick. That kind of crosses this way and kind of step that way. I'm taking my heel to tread on his foot, which will activate that point. At our camp like this up in Delaware, we had a higher session afterwards. And the people that stayed around, you asked my wife about it, but we actually took electricity, there's my wife there. We took electricity and fired them into points. And my wife had an electrode up on the head on the gallbladder point. Jim Clapp, put one down here, right where my toe is aimed on the gallbladder point. They put the electrode here, they put the electrode here. It was one of Hideki Fraser's people. And they pressed on the count of 3, they fired the electricity. The guy went down grabbing the floating rib, right where it meets. The guy went down to the floor. With just the 2 electricities, I didn't even get involved, to show that that pain meets in the middle. We then got the electrode there, and on the count of 3, a different person. Didn't use the same guy. Put electrode there, and the count of 3, they pressed, and I punched the guy outside the thigh, also gallbladder point. I didn't punch him in the floating rib because it could injure it. That's where the pain's meeting, and I didn't want to couple up to it. You could A, shut off the gallbladder, or injure the guy real bad. So I punched him in the thigh, which was off center, and the guy passed out like a baby in my arms. So that's just one of the experiments that we went through with the electricity with it, and showing how the tret and the hit couple in. You all know where the point is on the foot? Yes? No? Yes? The round of the foot? You actually want to tread on it. You want to tread on it. That activates that if I hit that now, he's going all the way out. Sorry, he's going to go all the way out because of the tread on the foot. If you hit him in the opposite side on the ribs, you have the solar plex, you have 3 inches down. That sets up the opposite side, the entire gallbladder meridian. That's why kata's go like this. That's why katas go like this. That's the places you're hitting. You're hitting in on the ribs, and you're catching it on the head. The better you can hit them on the head, and the more you can do this with that suction, the deeper they go out and the faster they go out. For an instant self-defense, I really like to teach you this, and I like to play with it when you go back to your schools in case you injure somebody. I don't want to be there. But you just have to tap lightly, and you'll find out that it's an instant self-defense. Somebody grabs you, you can tap them on the head. You just got to know how to tap right, and whether you got to come in from this angle or the front. And you have to study other people. Head like this, right there. I got to get to here, here, and here. His has a nice sharp turn. His is actually around the side. The average person would hit him and they wouldn't get a result because they weren't getting this point here. They would have to come in from this side. This is the angle and direction because his head turns so sharply. That point here, stand up. That point actually activates. This point right here activates the ear. That's why katas will do a tret, seisan, hengetsu. They'll tret with that heel treading on this foot and then back fist up at that ear. A lot of times with a head like that, I wouldn't do that point because he's too vulnerable here. He's too vulnerable in the cheek point. So I'd catch him here. This is too much of a turn. I'd have to come in from this side. He's only going to feel a little buzz. He ain't going to get it much. He has too much of a turn. But if I hit him with this one, he's going to feel that. Because of the cut of the jaw. Nice jaw. And just so you know, if you're working with people, you're perfect. You're perfect for the jaw. I don't see any real. Somebody has a real slanted jaw, real sharp cut. His isn't. He's still got this brace, the jock jaw cut here. But if their jaw goes from here to the ear without this turn, then they're not vulnerable here at all. I'm just telling you that so you don't waste a shot. And you hit somebody and you get nothing. So if they have a real slanted jaw, it just goes from here up. He doesn't, but it just goes from here to here without this turn. There's no vulnerability right here. You might get it, you might not. The odds are, though, you're not going to get it. So if the odds are in his favor that it isn't going to work, why would you do it? You all know about the cheek hole. Yes, it's on my videotapes. You all have my videotapes. You need that cheek hole with that knuckle. You need that cheek hole with that knuckle, and you need to turn on in. I'd use that on somebody maybe like this, but I wouldn't use it on you. Heavy face. Yeah, heavy face, heavy cheeks. You don't go after ones unless they're vulnerable. What I do with the higher belts is we'll walk around the seminars and we talk amongst ourselves, so you don't all know it, but we all say, he's vulnerable here, he's vulnerable there, he's vulnerable here. We'll point it out, because you have to learn to read that when you look at the person where you're going to hit him. You don't hit everyone in the same spot. Everyone's shaped differently. Everyone's built differently. I have people come up to me and say, I can't knock him out up on the head. Well, that's you're reaching up this high, and really he's too high for me to do that, but I can do it on him because I'm a little better at it. But the energy needs to be in this way. The energy needs to spill this way, right here. And if they're taller than you, you're shooting up more, and you're not getting it. You need to mess that V energy up like that to mess them up. So you got to be able to couple and mess up that energy. But if they're taller than you, well, when you go right under the jaw and do it. In fact, I think on one of the videotapes, I am knocking you out with this one in the G-call. Aren't you the guy going down on that? Yeah. He's taller than me, so I would use something that takes a down to up energy. If he's shorter than you, up to down energy. If he's your same height, you can use either set of energy. Now, what questions have we got? We should have a lot of questions. This is an advanced course. You should have a lot of questions and see what you want to work on. Yes, yes. Any questions? We don't have any questions. We know it all. Yes.
Well, it seems that you don't always follow the rule of the elements where you go fire, metal,
Yes, I do.
wood, do you?
Yeah, I just don't spell it out. It's all taken in consideration in the kata.
It seems that you go from fire to wood sometimes and metal to earth. You sort of skip over an element.
No.
Maybe I'm just missing something.
No, if you watch my hands, I'm slipping an element in there. You can better sit down and you ain't picking up, or it ain't gonna work. I'll tell you what a lot of people have a misconception of, though. They think you have to use that destructive cycle exactly that way. That's just the way it works best. You can override anything with more taps, and acupuncturists can override anything by using more needles. What a lot of people don't understand is you can do something entirely on the one meridian and get a good result. I can take somebody out just as I just explained with the 2 electrodes and the punch. That was just the gallbladder meridian. You can stay on the meridian. The only time you need a destructive cycle is when you get off and change meridians. And then what a lot of you probably do not know enough about is the warning points. There are warning points in the other meridians. For instance, the warning point for the gallbladder on the opposite side sets up this side over here. Now, who would think that? Understand that? You can tap him on this side, and it sets up this entire side over here. And you have warning points all over that set up, they're on this meridian, but yet they set up the entire other meridian. So you have that to take in consideration, and you have the same meridian to take into consideration, and you have then the destructive cycle to take into consideration.
One other question.
Uh-huh.
Is it true that each meridian is open, if you will, for 2 hours out of the day, and it works?
Yes, yes, yes.
Strictly
Actually,
for
4
healing?
hours out of the day, but we override that system. You don't need to worry about that system. It is true that you can stop someone's heart easier in the morning. You can stop his liver at 4 o'clock in the morning. An acupuncturist will tell you it's better to work on the liver at 4 o'clock in the morning, but there's no acupuncturist going to bring you in to do that. He'll use extra needles. So you learn to override that by using more points. Keep in mind that when we teach points in a seminar, we only teach 1 here, 1 there. We sometimes couple up and use 2, but in a real fight situation, you're going to get several. You're going to get several, and they'll all fit together. You've all been around when I've tapped you under the jaw, yes? Well, then we're going to use something to set up the jaw before I tap you in a fight situation. We're not just going to tap the jaw. You're going to get a couple of them. And if for any reason that jaw didn't work, from me, you're going to get at least 3 more right away. They're probably going to be all instant. You understand what I mean? So we're not going to stop at the jaw unless I see you going down. Once you commit yourself to a combat situation, you better be going all the way to the floor. I'm not just going to hit you once and stop. I'm going to close. Anybody else? Yes. Ridge hand. Ridge hands are one of your best attack weapons. You know why? Most energy releases from it. more so than even from the palm. Energy cuts down and across the arm and actually cuts back this way, and you have energy coming out this way. Ridge hand is the best way to attack and strike somebody. Why is it the best? Because of the positive and negative electricity in your body. The palm, you know, is positive. The fist is negative. Actually, when you hit somebody this, you got a little sandwich going there, and you have a positive and negative line that meet right here, and you can really use either side that way. That's why the ridge hand is such an effective weapon. That's why it'll drop people quicker than a fist, because you have a little line of positive and negative doing this, and all striking at once. Angle and direction means a lot. When you work on the pressure points, I'm going to get you up and just have you tap on each other. I get people that like to do this, like go after their neck. You ever see people do that? They go like this, they put their hand there. Well, usually just take their hand and shove it into their neck, because that'll also put them out. What I want you to try, I'm going to get you up. I want you to be very careful with it. I don't want anybody injured. Stand up here. We're going to have you muffle it. I just want you to take your own hand, and I want you to place it right in front of the muscle on the neck. And then I want my side to tap with a light ridge hand. But I want the ridge hand to do this. Understand? I want it to come in this way so that the guy gets that. And the fight would already be over. Understand that? Now without the hand, the same thing would happen. I don't want you to do that. I want you to get your opponent, and I want you to put his own hand. You want these two knuckles. Turn around, I want to say it. You want these two knuckles placed right in front of the sterno muscle. Sternocleidomastoid muscle goes from the base of everyone's skull to the tip of their collarbone. You can look at anybody and know how that muscle goes. Short neck people, that muscle has a tendency to go more straight up and down because of their little head, their little neck. Bigger people, it has a slant. The minute you look at somebody, you can see that it goes from here to there, and you want to stay in front of it. There's nothing to hit on it or around it. You've got to be in front of it. So what I did was took his two knuckles, I placed them right there, and then I just tapped those knuckles in and down like that, and you'll see the eyes go, tap a little bit harder, and you see the guy almost go out. So when you do that, I want one side to stand like this, and the other side to just ridge hand right in the middle of the palm. Try that lightly on each other. See if you don't get a buzz from that. That's where you would ridge hand without that. You understand that?
Yes, I understand that. Would there be times when maybe they're getting lucky because they hit the
Yes,
right foot?
yes, that's what we watch that for fights. We watch that for fights, and most of you by now know that no one can take 3 shots on a pressure point, right? You know that? I can hit you 3 times, you can't take the 3rd one. George Foreman, when he was fighting Evander Holyfield, had gloves on. That's why it would take 3 shots. However, we thought that somebody showed Tyson, and because he was hitting people in the ribs on the opposite side and doing knockouts up on that forehead. Right where I had you doing this, he was doing knockouts. And he was doing the same twist with that glove. Man, we were slow motion in every one of his knockouts. He has at least 12 or 13 knockouts on that forehead.
You did that to Michael Spinks.
That's right, that's right, that's right.
He got him here.
That's right, right there, and the fight was over.
And it was over.
It was all over. He had like 13, 14 fights where the fight was over, and he was hitting on this rib and that head. And a few of the fights that we have on, or that we've watched, where he hasn't been able to do that, he wasn't able to get at the ribs. The guy was real good, and he was trying to get at his ribs. He wanted to get a rib shot. So somebody showed him that, I'm positive, because he had too many knockouts that way. And the only fights he had difficulties when he couldn't get at the ribs and the head. And then the guy could cover and move. Or the guy was real big, and he had the same factor that I told you. You shouldn't use it on a big person. There's other points to use. What other question you have? Somebody over here asked about going down in the kata. Anytime you go down, let's use your body weight. Body enhancement, body English, to drop on the point. Anytime you go down in the kata. You get down on your knee. Most of you know that, right? Yes. Who else has questions? You guys should have high belt question. Yes.
Caught a Shibo. This movement.
Okay,
this-
come over here.
That movement.
Come over here.
That's why people know.
Who said that? Who asked that? Who said that? You're hitting him with that. And the quicker you snap that, if I hit you like this, you've been there. If I hit you like that, you feel it. But if I do this, that hurts you more. And if I grab you or any of you, well, this is even great, better yet. But if I did this, what would this do? But I would let this happen. Feel it? And then I would just do it for the stretch in the hip. And I would let this happen at the same time. So you're not using this part. You are letting this do the work right here. And I'm sure you felt that. And you can connect up. And you can connect back to front. And you can connect up under the eye. Really good up under the eye. Most of you know that I would favor doing a lot of punching up under that eye. You have the supraorbital nerve that crosses right through here. My thumb is on his right now. Ties right into the cranial nerves like you wouldn't believe. Even just the palm that you were doing here, very effective if you catch here. However, you can injure a person. That's why you can't practice that. I don't know if I'm going to injure him or not. But in a street fight, I practice this at my dojo, but in a street fight, I will probably hit you there. I'll probably hit you there. So you mess with me, you're probably going to get hit on that. And if you have a nice roof like this, I know you're going to get hit. I know I would hit you there. You have a nice roof, see that nice roof out there? If you mess with me, I just know I would like to hit you there. In fact, I'd just like to hit you there. Yes, that's actually where you're punching in the hanchi. That's actually where that punches to, is underneath that bone to curl up. However, keep in mind that if ever you punch somebody there, you are probably going to kill them. I'll say there's about an 80 to 90% chance, because that knuckle will come right under that bone, right under that bone. Stand up. Yeah, we need to kill someone. Yeah. And here's a nice roof there, just to close your eye. Right there. Feel that underneath there? That's where you punch. And you come right up underneath that. And you just hit that like that, boy. And that's probably going to do some real serious damage. And even if it didn't, the eye's going to be messed up. His vision's going to be messed
It
up.
causes the orbital blowout.
Yes.
Back of the eye.
Yes. So that's where you're punching in the hanchi.
Windshield. We're doing this move, knocking down the arm, raising up underneath the chin.
Right.
And this is just
Jaw.
Jaw. If we come back and land down in this V notch, with
Uh-huh.
a hammer fist, are we gonna kill him?
Probably.
Okay.
Yes.
So I shouldn't do that at.
Anytime. Only the white belt.
Only the white. Okay.
Only the white belt.
Same way Bro was talking about from here.
Uh-huh.
This one comes up into there.
Uh-huh.
This means for this and this.
What's the meaning? Do you know?
I got an idea, so let's see what you've got to say.
What do you got? Tell me. Maybe it's better than mine.
Go back here and set up small intestine, and then come up under the ribs there.
I don't know that I'd waste all that time. When we're that close, I can just hit you, right?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, let's just hit you. Got an idea for that?
I couldn't see the movement. Okay, chicken beak block in. Chicken pecking corn. Chicken pecking corn.
Do you know what that's for? I mentioned what I want to tell you. No. This is nothing. You can't hit me up on this spot. The spot that was soft near a baby, look, nothing. Nothing. There never was anything here.
Anybody home? He's knocking.
Anybody home? This is only vulnerable when you can stretch the nerve off the spine. So if I can get him in any one of these positions and have this nerve totally stretched and now deliver a front punch, there's a chance of killing the person. So the spot that was soft when you were a baby is a pressure point, but not just like that. I would have to get you bent like this or like this and get you right to my maximum power height, which is just below the breast, get that head to here and deliver a front punch, then you are going to kill the person. Keep in mind that when a lot of those moves were done, the guy had a top knot. You'd grab it and you'd hit him. This particular move maps out an Oriental's features, which he's not. I mentioned this on one of my videotapes. Orientals go through the roof, I'm sure, when they see that. But Orientals are very weak where my thumb is. They're just the opposite of you. You
Can
have,
turn that around?
well, use your imagination. They almost have no bone, in fact, they have no bone here. This is just smooth, okay? They have a bone there, but I mean, it's just smooth.
No roof.
They have no roof. Go out and look. When you walk, don't go look at Wally and tell him I told you. 300 people tonight to go look at a Wally. No roof, no roof, and supraorbital nerve on them is hidden. Is actually hidden. It's back, it's deep. You can't take 90% of the Orientals and hit them there and get the same result I would get on you. You got that? But they have a high bone here, and especially Koreans. You look at a Korean with a high bone and the cheek even sticks out like my thumb. Your heart meridian comes up, comes down, it comes up, it comes deep here, and it ends right at the eye. It ends right there. They are weaker here. Right there. He feels it. But that's where you would attack that. That pec is for there. You got to remember, you won't have this to get in the way. It's back. And you would hit him with that. And again, if you affect the eye, you affect his vision, so even if you missed your attack, that's actually where that was designed to hit. And I'll just say in most places that that's a move used for Orientals, not on other people, and that's where the attack is.
Would you want to use it?
No.
How close is it to stomach one?
You're not going to hurt anybody.
Stomach one is right there, but the lower is.
The heart meridian's deep, stomach is surface. This stomach is out here. I got stomach now. When I go into here, I'm in heart meridian. I'm going in deep for heart. That's not stomach in there. When I do this, I'm in at heart meridian. I'm in at the heart. When I get in deep, I'm in at heart. That's why the moves in Kusan-ku, they go like this. When I learned that kata, they told me I was punching the guy and then blocking. I'm sure you heard that. And I said to my instructor, if I punch the guy, why am I blocking? Remember, I had these powerful hands you taught me about. You are really striking a point down low to bring him down, and then you are to snap your knuckles in and down on that particular spot. That's a real weakness amongst Orientals, but remember, it's Orientals that developed the kata. And they were thinking at the time when they were fighting other Orientals. They never thought of using them on other people, really, at the time. And they would devise the move where they would hit, and they would strike down on the heart. If they strike over on the heart, activating points, and then strike down there, again, there's a chance of death. Or if they grab the fist or the finger, the small finger, grabbed in inside the arm and struck there, because the other hand's always doing something too. So if I have him on a heart point, and I hit him on a heart point, and then hit down on a heart point, the triple is probably a good chance of killing the guy. I would say it would shut the heart off. So most of you were around when I did on Ed, I did the back kidney point. Most of you seen that?
Everybody raise their hand and stand.
One more time. 3-4 inches, about 4 inches away from that same kidney point is a spot that stops the heart, same as the kidney stops. That far away is the heart stopping point. So when you do that move in a kata, and you see that move in a kata done by people, that just shows what they don't know about their kata, because they're spearing off the arm, which will activate, they will hit the triple warmer in the back, and they will come around and they will attack the heart points. I lowered it to attack the kidney to turn that move into a knockout. That move is actually designed to kill somebody. That's the way it was left to me in my notes. I got notes from Hohan Soken, and it just maps out how to kill. Very few mentions of knockouts. A lot of the knockouts I watered down. We take away some pressure point attacking to make them a knockout. Because we don't want to injure people. Just like today we're playing around hitting 3 points or 2 points. 3 good points is a knockout, and 4 could hurt him. 5 is supposed to kill it. Well, there's no way you can practice it. But I know that I've done some things to people, and you've all been there, where I did something on this side of the body, and I'll be at another seminar doing something on this side of the body, and you gotta use your imagination. If you put them both together, what's gonna happen? Just gotta use your imagination. If I give you a buzz on this side, and give this guy a buzz on that side, you can realize that if you did them both at the same time to the same guy, you could injure somebody. It could be an injury.
May I ask for a target or two in Sunshine Copper?
What are you doing? What move? This? Several targets. The head, the opposite side of the ribs that I told you was the activator for the opposite gallbladder. Right down 3 inches from the solar plex is the warning point. So you're hitting it, you got the head. That's the angle and direction. You are also in Sanqin, could be connecting with the lower eye. Keep in mind that again it was an Oriental that devised the kata. Thinking of another Oriental, that move does circle and come down this way, and it could be taking out that eye. Same way. Same way.
Can you, instead of, I've been palming right here,
Uh-huh.
and giving it a little twist,
Yep.
and it seems to be pretty effective, so is that, that's affecting the stomach meridian
Yes.
instead of the heart, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you'd have to be inside the part.
okay,
Intro. That's why you went after it.
all right, that's something that.
Switch stuff. Use that on 16 and get twisted.
Uh-huh.
Here, like you were showing earlier on that quadrant, bend that
Yes.
neck over and stretch it. This will work
I,
into the back.
it would, I really wouldn't use it, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't use that.
I turn it to this.
Yes. Yeah, I'd use this.
There's a
I
high-
use this.
High energy transfer from this.
However, I would use this on that lower eye. This folds in nice. You'd have to, yeah, tap an Oriental.
I'll get Wally right
No, you know, some of you know Hideki Frazier. Some of you know Hideki Frazier, right? I just barely tapped him, he went out on that. I mean, he went out, and I used this. I had him close his eye, and I touched his heart point. And I just lightly did it, man, he was going. So I can imagine where hard, and actually hard, kicking or punching a hard point, and a hard move on there, I imagine it could kill. An Oriental, very weak. That's the weakest spot on an Oriental, is right there. Right there. There, and up in that hole in the cheek.
Oh.
Korea.
It works on there.
It's still alive.
Try and hit the other side.
Don't do anything. What?
Are you still subscribing to the yin yang theory, or
Well, sure. Oh, yes.
anything above and beyond that, or
Well, Rick, there's a
Yes.
question up your alley.
What was that?
is there anything above and beyond the yin yang theory?
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate?
If you look at this patch, the internal most of it is the yin and yang part, okay? And that tells me how to go from one quadrant to the other, or top to bottom, left to right, back to front, okay? And that chooses my points that are opposite to one another. The next level is the regulatory cycle, which is the outside, which tells me that, for instance, the metal will cut wood and to keep that part of the body in balance. So I can use that to set up bad conditions in the body, such that if I use a metal point from this arm to a wood part in this body, and that's in the same quadrant, that's, let's say 25% bad. If I use it from here to here, it's 50% bad. From here to here, 75. From here to here, 100% bad. Okay, now that's using the yin and yang in conjunction with the regulatory cycle. If I add the third level, being the constructive cycle, on the outside, I can use this another way. And give you an example of that. Metal cuts wood. What's under attack? The wood meridian, right? Now let's go to the constructive cycle on the outside. The wood feeds the fire. Okay? The wood supplies energy to the fire meridians. So I want to make this bad again, okay? So I'll go metal, cuts wood. That's bad. Now I'll fire into a fire point. So now the wood energy in the body cannot pass its energy on to the fire. There's a blockade there. Or if I strike it the wrong direction, I'll roll that energy back up into the body. So I have the wood meridian under attack from the regulatory. I have the fire energy coming back into it from the constructive cycle, all going on in one quadrant, using the yin-yang part. That makes it bad. If I move that quadrant away into it, it makes it a lot worse. Then I can make it consecutively worse by choosing those points moving away from my attachment point.
So
Okay.
if you go metal to wood, then you can go either to stomach or spleen or to one of the fire.
To back it up. Yeah, but now, the boys and girls, I'm gonna tell you a little secret now, you're asking for it. Metal to wood, and using the yin-yang part will knock them out most of the time. And that's all you need. You start setting in and sealing that strike with one on the constructive cycle, also taking care of the extraordinary vessels. You have sealed this to the where we can't fix it. Okay, you asked me to make it worse, I made it worse. But that's not one thing that you should go duplicate, because now we can't unwork it. Like if I go metal to wood and stay in one quadrant, he'll just pass out. Most of the time he wakes up when he hits the floor. Okay? I start moving the quadrant away, he has to be resuscitated. If I start going quadrant away and back sealing it so that there's no energy can make it back or forward, and he's down, I don't know if we're gonna fix that.
Can you also go from metal to wood to another wood?
Yes.
So there's only a couple of places you can't go, really.
Well, there's very few places you can't go. It's just that selection of point makes it a lot easier. Such that, like, if I use gallbladder 20 on the back of the head, y'all been waiting for this, right? If I use gallbladder 20 on the back of the head and it takes 50 pounds of pressure to put him out, and Tom, stand right here. That's the way I get away with murder. If I take and strike gallbladder 20 with 50 pounds of pressure, this individual passes out. If I am fortunate enough to strike down on that lung or large intestine meridian and then come in with only 20 pounds of pressure, they'll probably still go out. Because I messed up the regulatory cycle of the body. I sucked energy over into this quadrant. It's like a little army run all its defenders over here to this flank, and I attack the back flank.
If you follow the destructive cycle, you can kill it. It's that simple. So if that's what you want to do, then you're going to kill it. We just try to work this into a knockout system, so we can stop an opponent within 1 second. That's the whole idea. And the moves in the kata are how you're going to do it. I just want to stop a guy. I don't want to kill him. If you keep hitting him in the destructive cycle, you are going to kill him. You take out 5 pressure points and follow the destructive cycle, you are going to kill him. We try to avoid that. Try to avoid that. That's why the book's called Kyusho Jitsu. Kyusho Jitsu is 1 second fighting. You tap a guy, you tap a guy, you tap a guy, bang, he goes like this, the fight's over. Then if you want to follow up, go ahead. You want to grab him by the hair and toss him around, go ahead. You want to knock him down, go ahead. The best way for you to get good at this is to do your katas and practice with hands-on. And you don't have to do hands-on and hurt each other. Now what he went into is a little deep. You don't all have to know that. That's just a lot of what we take into consideration. If I am working out a new technique, I go, well, geez, I only have one choice of hitting him, here or over there. I don't have that choice, now I got a turning for my choice. If you're going to follow the destructive cycle, you would have to hit him in a given order. But what you best should do is work out your katas. And that when you go through your moves in kata, you know why you're doing them, and then get hands-on to practice. You can stand around and talk about all the theory you want. But if you can't just tap somebody and get him at least buckling, and that's the start, by the way. Anytime you tap somebody and the knees go like that, then you just know the little harder is going to put them down.
You guys can experiment with that if you want. You can stand and you can just tap lightly here, and then you can just hold just these two on top, getting both metal meridians, and tap with the same amount of pressure. And why don't we get up and try that? Just tap each other lightly and see the little effect.
Show me what you want.
Then touch.
Come up there.
All right. And just get a look on the sand of my head in here and just tap this right here. And he gets a little buzz. Then take and just attach to these two. Okay? In here and tap and see if he gets a little bit more of a buzz. Okay? And that tells you that this is connected to this. There's another one you can do from here. You go, does this bother you? You say, well, not too bad. And you go, okay, well, I'm going to pinch these two and rub it again. And all of a sudden it's going, oh, that really bothers me. Okay? Now another thing we can do is make this so it doesn't move. When we push down on it, let's see how strong he is. Now we'll touch this and push it down easily. Okay, and we make it strong, and it's good. And then I'll touch this point over here, which is emerging, and it'll fall again. Okay? So I know that for target work, if I latch here, this works real good, this works real good, this works real good. And you can have another one you can do is from here, just reach over here and bump this. Okay, but you notice how I go bump, and you go, okay, and everything shakes. We don't really need to be picking everybody up off the floor, and all you have to do is bring this up to about 30 pounds, and we'll be picking them up. But the two that you want to deal with, and this will give you 5 knockouts right off the bat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to put another one there now, right? I said 5. 4 work. Do these two. Just right here on this, get these two.
Pinch.
Yeah, pinch them together like this so that you go to work. Okay? Now, along 7 and 6. And large intestine is about 5, I believe. Yeah, thank you. I'm sitting there, I can't remember this. 365, when he wants me to remember. These two, okay? And when you come across the body and latch like this, you got them. But for demo purposes, you can get your little pinky up and get them on to work it, okay?
Now,
So
you don't want to do the fire after you go to the wood.
you can.
Yeah, but I mean, for all practice.
Now, we don't want to do that, no, we don't practice that today.
You got your hands on it, I guess.
Yeah, but right now, I am on just the metal
What
Meridian.
if you got the whole rest and?
Well, that's gonna make it a lot worse. See, if I'm gonna do this and he's really ticked me off,
That's why you put tension.
yeah, I'm gonna grab right across both those metal meridians, pitch all 4 of those fire meridians, and I'm gonna blast into here. Then I'm gonna come right back over to here, because he can't deal with any one of them. He can't see this strike, and he can't see this one. And these are my shotgun techniques I knew when I'm in close and tight, that I gotta put him down. And he's done fired off him, and bam! And down he goes. And I don't have to be accurate, I just know that if I fire into this quadrant, I'm gonna put him away if I got this grip. Okay, so I'll bump this out a little bit, then I'll cause that spring out where I can really rack it. Okay? So deal with these two, this, and bump these two lightly. Okay? I'll come around with
You better try that. We just did a tour together in Scandinavia. We were in Norway, Sweden, Finland, England. Big seminar turnout. And we went up to the Arctic Circle, 180 miles in the Arctic Circle, just to eat in an igloo. True story, no joke there. Wally and I are out, oh, here's it going. Wally and I are out in the woods. And we're walking up, and there's a bear on the path, a big bear. And Wally grabs his knapsack, he's sitting down. I said, what are you doing, Wally? He's getting sneakers on. I said, Wally, you can't outrun that bear. He says, I don't have to, I just have to outrun you. Oh, well. Just a joke, just a joke. Yeah, really. Yes, but there's a cut that goes like this. Goes like this. Goes like this. Goes like this. People see that movement in kata? Yes? This is off the arm. This is to the back. I do it on the kidney point. 2 inches up from the kidney, 4 inches in from the spine is a kidney point associated with the triple warmer. But 4 inches up from that, it could be a heart point and kill the person just as easy.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't see that, when I do the move, we come off the arm. Triple warmer, triple warmer, triple warmer. And it's all the way the move looks in the kata. So when people tell me about kata and they don't understand kata, if you can't see this back there, stand up. Kneel down so you can see your wall. That's why I need to get in there. I don't want it to hit you.
Any partners in things?
One good night.
Backwards.
What's his leg?
You gotta relieve it.
Release it.
Release it.
Give that a round of applause. We have some awards. Now everybody's smiling, but these are, I guess, unexpected awards. We're probably going to announce them again at the banquet so you can get pictures, and we'll take pictures inside. And by the way, if you want any of the equipment, Wally, Remy, and I will have everything set up to sell you the videos of the t-shirts. If you want any of my club t-shirts, we'll sell them for $10, so we don't have to carry them back home. So if you're interested in that, see Ron Richards. We got a promotion we're going to make. Has nothing to do with this seminar. The guy's been out teaching his own seminars. He's had several camps on pressure points. He's come a long way since being introduced to pressure points. When I first came down to Florida to teach, I mailed a letter to everyone in the state of Florida that was in karate that I could find. And there's only one man that answered that letter. And that's Jack Hogan. Give him a round of applause. And he's getting a diploma, taking him to Grandmaster, 7th degree black belt. And it's signed by Wally, Remy, myself, and Leo Fong. And he has a special belt to go along with it. So he's going to take off that belt and put on a new one, and he wears it the red side out.
I don't know whether I know how to do that.
Speech. Another round of applause. We have another man here that we want to honor, and this is the way the martial arts should be. It should be a brotherhood. It should be a mixture of styles like this, all coming together to share. And the man we want to honor now is one of the older people doing karate. He's been around a long time. He has books out all over the country. In fact, his book on Ishinryu karate sold over 100,000 copies. And he turned 73 years old today. Is it today, Alan?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Alan Wheeler. Give him a round of applause. In fact, let's all sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you. He says to me, he says, I think Wally J's the only one older in the martial arts doing this stuff than me. 73 tomorrow. And I think we ought to honor more people like this. This is a diploma, again, signed by Wally J, Leo Fong, Remy Presas, and myself, making Alan Wheeler a 9th degree black belt. And it's actually dated last November when we had our board meeting. The biggest part is he has the books out all over, but his one book, I talked to the publisher. I didn't get that from him. They sold over 100,000 copies of a book. So that means he has a lot of money. Alan?
Go home now.
You want to do a little demo? You and Remy do a little demo. We're waiting for a special guest to get here. Test. Can everyone see? Take your pictures. Take your pictures. Take your time. Take pictures.
What's new?
This mobility of the hand here, anywhere, if you strike, Chinese it is lock here, this is lock here also. Anywhere, if you strike here, this is lock, this is lock here, this is lock here, this is lock here. This area that strikes it, I move this, then I go down, then this is locked there, this is locked there, this is locked here again. This is locked here. You could go here also. The same, this is the same here also. It's the same here. This is the same here also. Anywhere you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Remy Presas. Okay, let's give a big round of applause. Our special guest.
Thank you, Jack. I'd like to welcome you all, the ones of you that are not from Jacksonville, to our fine city. And I understand you have folks here from as far away as Colorado and New Jersey. Anybody here from Virginia? There you go. I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley in Portsmouth, Virginia. Good to see you. What part? I grew up in a little town of Shenandoah, about 30 miles away, so I know where you're from. Well, anyway, welcome to all of you, and we're glad you're here. And the folks from Jacksonville, hello to you. Glad we've got we did, at least it didn't rain. It hadn't been sunny, but we've got getting this weather straightened back out. A warm welcome to you. I hope you've had a great day, an instructive day in this great sport that you are involved in. It's, I had an opportunity to go down to our Coliseum about a month ago and see a great exhibition with about 1,000 people showed up for local karate demonstrations, and I was very honored to be there. I have some keys to our city. It's a symbolic thing we do to show. I'm going to give these keys symbolically to 3 world-class athletes and great champions. Remy Presas, would you please come up, and Wally J. and George Dillman. You all know these 3 distinguished gentlemen. You're in George, nice to see you. Where are you from?
Reading, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Jacksonville, George.
I'm Wally J.
Wally?
I came from Honolulu and now I live in Alameda, California. San Francisco.
Welcome to Jacksonville, sir.
I'm from New Jersey, sir.
Nice to see you.
I'm from the Philippines.
Very nice to see you. Welcome to all 3 of you. And if you'll just stand there 1 minute, I'll go get these. Jack, would you help me? Would you hand me those 3 things? I wanted to put the mic down. There you go. Here we go. Yeah. All right, now I guess I better put that back.
Damn, 3 Stooges could have done it better.
I have 3 keys to the city. They, knock them out, George. they don't open up any bank vaults. I've tried that. But they are symbolic of the, got a seal of the city, and then no politician ever gives away anything that doesn't have your name on it. Well, that's my name on the back, and it's a key to the city, and I'd like to present it. It's a symbol of our affection and a warm welcome, and a symbol of our love. So we want to present you. Here we go. Thank you, sir.
Remy's gonna get another one. Remy sneak up to the end to get another one or what? He's trying to confuse him.
Thank you very much.
God, I thought those guys were
charm
jerk
of the
off,
city
but I've
with
seen
the
it all
seal on
now.
it, and it's really a keychain, but I think you'll like it. And
Promotions, what a great
I ain't that brave.
No, you should.
Hey, it wasn't my idea.
Why did it actually?
Okay, anyway. No, George.
You're done. Yeah, go to the buffet.
There's Jim Corn. I'm videoing Jim Corn, videoing me. Yeah, all right. Let's video Jim Corn, videoing me. There goes Sandy.
It was a joke.
She's got her Best Buddy shirt on.
Huh? Good one, too.
There's Jack. He has his Best Buddy shirt on, too.
Yes, I do.
That's right. And here's the originator of the Best Buddy shirts. I'm surprised it doesn't say Mark Klein, State of the Arts, Karate Academy.
Klein, he has that work in there.
In this part.
Oh.
Secret.
This is Grandmaster.
Techniques.
This is for Grandmaster Richards.
Yes, that's Grandmaster Richard's system.
Yeah, I'm back here.
Well, damn, Greg, get over on the other side. I can't see you back there.
My autograph.
Oh, I see. Hang on, let me pan around here. There's Grandmaster Richards, the originator of the SHIT theory.
Richard's ridiculous secret. Did you take care of it?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Is it gone?
It's gone.
Yeah, what's on yours? It's like a rat crawled up there or something.
Yep, Richard's ridiculous secret or Rick.
That's it.
There's Greg Dillon with the long hair and his best buddy shirt
My best buddy shirt.
with shit on the back.
Edible color shirt everywhere.
Watch. There's another best buddy over there. That's a big one. I don't know how we got a shirt big enough to fit that one, but yep, he's got them too. He's got those secret hidden instructor's techniques. Hot damn.